What's going on, everybody? It's Inkblot here again with another episode of Breakdown Blitz. This time we have a Temptation pickup. Looks like they've got Nezian as a sub today, versus another pickup here on the other side. Alter Ego +2. I know that Steffi and Storm here have been playing with Shy and Justin quite a bit, so I'm excited to see exactly how this one goes. Of course, as per normal, 4 games, all modes, and we will see what we can try to learn from these two teams. If you like the episode, be sure to hit the like button and hit subscribe, and let me know down below what you think in the comments. Without any further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, first map is Splat Zones on Piranha Pit. This is probably one of my favorite maps. I've just got a lot of memories here overall, so we'll see exactly what happens. Of course, I know that Red Shell is going to be one of those people that likes to play with the brush quite a bit, so we'll see what kind of nuisances that brush can kind of bring to the table. A lot of times that brush is very useful in terms of skirmishes and very useful in terms of distractions, and less so actually doing a lot of picks and being a lot of more of like a traditional team player. So excited to see exactly how that's utilized here. Of course, very standard composition on the other side here for this pickup on the other side of the map. Looking fairly early on, fairly even here. Looks like Red Shell and Nezzy pushed up, or maybe not even pushed up, but I think that was a good kind of way that this pink side can kind of take the engage here. If they kind of just take the engage on their own, they're able to just push up there, get the 2, and that'll very quickly translate into momentum they can use on the other side of the map in a 4v2 situation. So well done there to kind of capitalize on that. One thing about Piranha Pit Splat Zones, and I think one of the reasons why it's very interesting, is because you can get a lot of ink onto the zone very quickly if you are on a team that becomes at a little bit more of a disadvantaged state, assuming that your opponent hasn't completely locked you out yet. So that's what we're kind of seeing Temptation do a little bit there to try to back themselves back in, but now with a 2-down situation, Red Shell can only do so much here on the brush and is going to go down there as well. And so again, we're just going to see this pink side kind of hold on to the zone for even longer. And you'll notice they're making their logout positions a little bit stronger. Not exactly like the strongest things in the world here. And at the moment, they actually don't have any specials to kind of fend off this engage. So they're just going to have to try to rely on their own main weapons. We see the Booyah Bomb come out here onto zone. It's not quite enough in order to get the cap. With another 2-down situation, looking very difficult here for Temptation to be able to come back from this one. As we're probably going to see the cap come through once more. Nezzy can only do so much here on the Kensa Pro, not really one of those painting weapons, and Rissa's just kind of getting bullied over here with this junior. You'll see a little bit of ink comes down here onto the zone. A nice snipe by Shiny, but can we try to capitalize on this? This is a 1v1 situation. No, Rissa goes down right after popping the cucumber. It's a 3-down situation. It's going to be the cap for this pink squad, and it looks like they're going to get the 100-0 knockout. So very strong positions that they were able to hold. And we didn't quite see a full take-through. I think Temptation was a little bit scared to kind of call out their opponent. Granted, there was some very good positioning there, and of course we know that these players on this other pickup side are very skilled individually, so it might make things a little more difficult, but it was kind of unfortunate we didn't get to see them really break back in to their fullest extent. Tower control on Piranha Pit, or sorry, on Inkblot Art Academy for this one. I'm still thinking about Piranha Pit for some reason. But one of those very snowballing maps, as we know here. We'll see exactly, again, what these two teams are going to bring to the table. Juniors on either side, very useful. We'll be looking to see those armor timings. Then, of course, still, Red Shell didn't quite cause as much havoc in the last game. Wasn't quite able to swoop on around from behind. I imagine it's going to have an even more difficult time on Inkblot Art Academy doing just that. You see the early armor here coming out of this orange squad. It allows them to just go ahead and push forward here. And they were able to get the 1. Now they're able to get the 2nd because of it. Steffi does go down to the bottom of the process, but overall, we notice the map is really opened up here. And that's one of the reasons why you see this early armor strat used so often and so effectively. Very often, if you're kind of very confident in your armor timings and that you're really going for that strat, you can pull it off to some degree, and you already notice the first checkpoint here is completely gone for this orange squad. Shiny going down on the back line, though I think that was sort of a Stingray or something to that degree. Now Storm Hero goes down. So it looks like the tower's been cleaned up here, but Justin is going to try to cause a little bit more of a distraction, wait for the rest of this pickup here to kind of respawn, and you'll notice that, you know, they're in very much more of a position here where they don't have to give up mid, right? So even though they made a push, they're not giving up mid because of how much time that Justin was able to stall out for. Now Incomer's popped either direction, so they kind of cancel each other out. But again, Red Shell hasn't quite been able to do a lot of this more skirmishy sort of things that I feel like the brush wants to do. Now, obviously, I'm not a brush main myself, but I feel like a lot of what this brush probably wants to do is it wants to start trying to run around the map, trying to get around their opponents, have someone else cause a distraction on the front side, and then be able to swim around. So, like, there's a player here shooting this way. Say it was Shy, right? Shy's shooting to focus on this player, but the brush hopefully would want to pop around from the other side and catch Shy by surprise. Unfortunately, hasn't really been able to do a lot of that so far in this match. You see that previous mid-fight did go in favor of, this pickup here, and so they're able to keep this ball rolling here a little bit. Nezzy kind of caught off guard a little bit there. Probably jumping back would have been my personal play. Might not have had enough time to do just that. Might have been trying to look for a pick or something like that, but here come the specials once more. Specials aren't getting their complete value here out of the orange side, given the fact that there weren't very many people up, and of course the Stingray didn't get many picks. Just kind of some reassurance that they are going to be able to move on forward. Red Shell here kind of dives in alone onto this tower, and so the tower is just going to be able to clear the second checkpoint. Now here's the part where we really start getting scared in terms of Snowbally, especially if we can try to lock them inside of this plat. You see Shiny gets one here. Now might look for the second. Very nice collapse around the tower there. Might have come just a little bit later than we might have liked to see, down to the 25-point mark here. So still plenty of breathing room here. I really want to see if this squad can play a little bit more defensively. I don't know if Shy particularly wants to take this with the Jet Squelcher, and now we see actually the Incomer come out. So again, provide a little bit more of that, but popping that Incomer now means that we're not going to have it when our opponents try to engage. So just keep that in mind. I imagine we might actually have another one, since Riss has been holding on to this for quite a long time. Red Shell's the only one on the plat, though, trying to get some punch done. And now Nezzy with the jump in is hopefully going to try to move on forward, but unfortunately, he couldn't quite seem to find exactly what he was looking for. Red Shell is going to go down here as well, and so when those two frontliners do go down, that means that it's free reign for this pickup. Just go ahead and collapse around the tower pretty much for free. Rissa is going to be the last one up, but it's going to go down. Red Shell with a drop roller is going to get picked off here as well, so good cleanup there. Coming in from this orange side of the map. Yeah, again, I think those like aggressive factors weren't really able to find much of their footing, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like a brush could be a little bit more of an awkward pick on a map like Inkblot Art Academy. Now this tower is going to continue pushing on forward. Red Shell goes down here once more, so even if you were trying to shark here, still getting taken down by that Stingray, I think it was, or maybe that was Justin's shots, I believe, running the K-Pro. It's a little bit unfortunate here, and here's where we really start to see the snowball attempt. There's the 3-down situation, and I imagine this is probably going to be the game. Red Shell's able to get one on the back side, but again, one is not the complete team, and Steffi is still going to be able to ride this tower to victory. Booyah Bomb goes off to take out Nezzy, and that is probably going to be the game here. Shiny does get one for the road, but it's not going to be enough, and it's going to be just a little bit late. And so, again, pushes that we were seeing, not fully able to win those in game, and so I'd like to see more resources kind of sent towards these players on the front lines, whether that's Booyah Bombs from the backside or something to that degree. I think, Rays can be a little bit awkward and can be useful, but are kind of weren't utilized the best there for Temptation. Clan Blitz on Snapper Canal. This is one of those maps that I feel like we've seen a lot of on Breakdown Blitz in general. So it'll be exciting to see exactly how this one switches out. Red Shell actually opting for the L3D this time around, which is kind of interesting. That's a weapon. Where is it? There it is. A weapon we don't often see, to be honest. And is most often, I feel like, used for paint coverage and hammer more than anything else, which is probably something that you're used to. A hammer is pretty much just like a really strong brush. Storm Hero, though, does go down early. Red Shell going to go down here as well in the trade. And so, actually, we're being awful aggressive here, actually, a little bit on both sides. Oftentimes we don't exactly need to really force fights on this map if we don't really want to. We can try to, especially in mid, I feel like we can try to send people on either side of the map. And you'll be able to engage in 2v2s on either side most of the time as you're trying to build up some map control, as you're trying to build up your specials, and as you're trying to get that clan counter up. We do already see a push, though, coming in for this pickups side, but it looks like there's enough map control here down Temptation is not going to allow another power clamp in the basket. Really like that strategy. You'll notice that they weren't really over-aggressive for picks. Instead, they decided to just kind of paint this area. Have to be careful, though, a little bit here. As they didn't get picks, there could be a very quick reapproach. Nezi was able to take that one out onto Justin here. So that's one of the things about this paint composition here, is it's not very traditionally slaying heavy here for Temptation. I feel like it's more geared towards getting a lot of paint on the map. Alright, the unfortunate news for Temptation here is that this is kind of a vulnerable position, and you kind of notice there, I was afraid that if Steffi and Justin kind of cut them off, it would have been a quick 2-down situation, but they were able to back off in time. The reason why I say that here is obviously you have to get up to the clam basket, but at the same time, if you don't have a power clam, probably pretty risky to be going for that. You could be committing a lot of resources in order to just take care of trying to get a little bit more map control there. Red Shell here, though, going down with a hammer. A little bit unfortunate there, not really able to open things up here. Nezi going to go down here as well. And if we take a look at the top bar, I think it feels like to me right now that the Bravo side is really doing a good job at outslaying and really shutting down opportunities for Temptation here when they do get enough clams to the basket. You notice their clam counter has reset back to 0, and another power clam is going in the basket. Steffi once more has a power clam at the ready, but is going to back on away. Again, would rather maintain some semblance of map control here as opposed to really going at it on the whole. So now we have a power clam here on Shiny and a power clam sitting in the basket, but with Shiny going down, this is going to be forced to back away, and once again, the clan economy is really not going to be there for Temptation for a little while longer, especially given the map control, especially given how much pressure Justin's applying. Justin was a little bit overzealous there and was able to get taken down. But at the same time, right now, very dire circumstances here that we're finding Temptation in, with only 12 now, a few more claims to their name. Finally, they're able to build up here for another power clam. Can they actually convert on this one, though? They'll be really heavily relying around Rissa's armor as well as Red Shell's hammer. Looks like was able to get one, and now they're able to unload for a couple more clams. Justin's going to try to come around from the flank with something that I would expect the brush to do. Looks like is going to be able to take out one, and the push is going to get broken up there. But nonetheless, it was a very good push that eventually was finally able to build up there. It took a little bit longer, I think, than a lot of people would have liked to have seen. But nonetheless, still a good push, and now we're sitting relatively pretty for ourselves with about 90 seconds left in the game. Now you'll notice that this purple squad is going for side control more than anything else, and they also know that they have a power clam back at the ready. So after this Stingray, I'd like to see Shy probably go back over here to grab one, grab this, and then jump in. And it looks like that's almost what he was going to do. Decided instead to go ahead and help with the team. But I don't even know how much pressure Shy's actually putting out. Was able to get a couple more claims to the basket here, and they might even be able to get the knockout here nonetheless. Steffi's coming up with the last few, and is just able to squeak those in time. Unfortunate. I will say though, if you are the pickup side, again, utilize your pity clams. I noticed that all of the time on, these Claim Blitz games in this series, we don't see teams go for those all of the time. Be sure to keep those in mind. On the whole, you could have guaranteed yourselves the knockout. Rainmaker on Blackbelly Skatepark. One of the staples, one of my favorite staples since Splatoon 1 in the early days. Red Shell looks like, I believe that's the hero roller. I could be wrong. I think it is. I always get those rollers mixed up, man. Otherwise, very standard compositions on either side of the map. We notice Justin on that Kensa Pro opting for a little bit more range. Shy is actually opting for the Jet Squelcher, whereas Shiny sticking with that Charger all of the same. Looks like Pop did go in this green side's favor, and now it's 1-for-1 on the map. Nezi can't really do a ton here from this position. Now it's going to get focused down by the Stingray, but Rissa is going to be able to help there, taking out Storm here. But you'll notice how much of a nuisance I think that this Jet Squelcher and now the K-Pro can kind of be, just shooting into mid, just kind of covering up a lot of this area and locking down this area. Not really a ton here that some of these members can do. Red Shell, I mean, okay, I will say, I have been very critical so far. But again, I think if you are playing a weapon like a roller, like a brush even, you really can't be afraid of just stepping forward and trying to find something here, or trying to approach from different kinds of angles here. Again, perhaps not the most objective play, I would say. I was kind of expecting Red Shell to come on around and take out the Rainmaker from behind, collapse around this Rainmaker, and that would have been a very quick push. Maybe try to take it down this pipe, and it looks like that's what Temptation's going to decide to do anyway. I kind of noticed that, if we could try to keep these members occupied, that's all well and good, being a little bit more of that distraction. But now at the same time, we'll notice that a lot of these members are spread out here. And, okay, I think Rissa was able to take down one with a Rainmaker before going down. Is able to take the lead there, but I mean, 78 to 72, neither of these two numbers are really numbers that you're going to be comfortable sitting on here over the course of this game. So now, Red Shell looking for the drop here and is able to find it onto Steffi. And it looks like we are just going to see this Rainmaker reset here for a moment. No, now with the 3-on situation, Risk going down here as well. That means the armor is not going to be there. And Nezzy is just kind of getting bullied around and tossed around here by those missiles, by the aggression that we're seeing coming in from these players here as well. Looks like they were able to get the trade, though, which is going to be beneficial. It's going to allow them to come on in, and I don't know exactly who picked that one up. That might have been Shiny. It might have been Rissa with a bomb. Don't know exactly. That was well done before that got too far out of control. Good turnaround there coming in from Temptation. But now, the turnaround kind of isn't keeping up. I think the pace of the game right now is definitely favoring this Bravo side. Why is my pen keep changing color? I don't understand. Okay. I definitely think pace of the game is favoring the Bravo side. They're playing a lot faster. And by that, I mean, they're not afraid to kind of take risks. They're not afraid to just push their advantages when they can. Especially, I mean, look at this little area here. Just was a little bit perhaps of an overextension there. Going into enemy ink is obviously not a fantastic thing at any point in the game. And so Justin, they were able to kind of set up this crossfire sort of a thing where Justin was able to get that pick there. And now, Nezzy gonna go down there, probably to the main power-up, more or less, of that Kenza Pro. Going to open another window of opportunity here with multi-member down situation. Stingray comes out, but nice Tenta missiles come in to counter. Love the use of the Tenta missiles there. And so that is going to get this number down to 52 here for this green side. 2-down situation, they might be looking for a little bit more here, especially if they can find these picks. And, that's one of the double-edged swords there with, I think, the junior is, a lot of times you might be thinking that you have to run away and you have to save armor, but in situations like that, you might also find that it's beneficial to just turn right around and try to get the kill, even if it means if it's a trade, because I think a trade in this situation might have opened up the door a little bit more. Now that's the complete wipe, and that's going to be the dunk there. So it is going to be this pickup. It is going to take a large part of control over the course of the entire games that we've watched. They were able to kind of win a lot of these fights, I think, on the whole. And I think it was largely just because there weren't enough members around in any one given spot for Temptation to really take advantage and really take hold in a lot of these fights. Alright everyone, that's going to be it for this episode of Breakdown Blitz. I hope you enjoyed it. But on the whole, I think there's actually a lot of things that you can kind of learn about specific teams' playstyles, even when you're seeing these more one-sided sets. As a matter of fact, I might argue that sweeps and knockouts are some of the games that I think you can learn the most about, as opposed to these really close, really tense games back and forth. Mostly because the messaging is, rather clear, I think, on the whole. But yeah, in a lot of those cases, I felt like Temptation didn't really have a ton of a fighting presence, right? And I think that's a large part and thanks to their kind of skirmish-heavy composition, reliance around things like a roller, reliance around the Red Shell's brush, and things like that. They were never really able to take fights, and so when they were collapsed around by 4 members, it was always a 4v2 or a 4v3 situation against them that I think really kind of got them taken care of. And again, anytime that you try to engage on your opponent with that squid advantage, I think it is very important, very crucial. So well done there by that pickup in order to capitalize on that on the whole. But in any event, yeah, hope you all liked it. If you did, be sure to leave a like button. Be sure to check out the other episodes of Breakdown Blitz on the channel. Already covered 4 different scrimmages, so be sure to check those out. And yeah, let me know what you thought down below, and I hope to see you all next time. Take care, everybody.